Yes, we're live now. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Shall I
Okay.
share? Shall I start?
Yes, let's start.
Oh. Good evening to one and all. I am Professor Dr. Rajesh G. Konnur. I am working as a professor at an Kurji Holy Family Hospital, College of Nursing, Patna, and also as a dean at an Eudoxia Research University, Newcastle, America, and also Eudoxia Research Center, India. I want to welcome all of you to in today's webinar on an literature review process and collection of an free high quality papers, sample thesis, free collection, and international thesis drafting guidelines. Okay, and before moving forward, okay, I want to thank and also I'm very grateful to Mr. Piyush Pandit sir, okay, founder of an IAU, for giving me an opportunity to share my views. Okay, I thank you, sir, and I welcome all of you to today's session. In today's session, we will see what is research process, and how we can collect thesis, and mainly we'll concentrate on a review of literature, and I summarize with the conclusion. We know that when the advancement of humanity, okay, is fueled by research only. Curiosity is what drives it, and when we get curious, we start asking questions and engrossing ourselves in learning. Okay, everything there is to know. Education is booming. Without curiosity and inquiry, development would stall, and life as we know it now would be entirely different. For in development, we need and research. Okay, research is a process. Research, okay, finding out the new things and searching the searching, and when you will search in depth, you will get a new things. Okay, it starts. Okay, of course, it is a process. When you say that it is a process, it is having input, throughput, and output. Okay, so in today's class, okay, we'll see what is research process. Okay, research process starts with the one of the idea. Okay, a very broad idea. Then we will make it as a statement. Okay, in the concise form. When we will frame it, it is known as a research question or a problem of statement. Okay, and for this one, we'll go for a review of literature, because we have to have an evidence based. When you will say that there is a question, okay, to validate it, we need a literature. So we have to go for an in-depth doing a literature review, not only for that one, and for validating, okay, for your credentiality of the study, for the support of your research question, and the knowledge for research design, and for discussion analysis. Okay, for the recommendations, you need a literature review. So it starts with the idea and identifying the review, forming the research problem. Okay, and whatever the problem is there, okay, the main ideas can be operationalized, because you have to know that what it means in your study, and framing the research design depending upon your problem statement and objectives. Maybe research design may be quantitative, qualitative, or in mixed methods. Okay, then afterwards, okay, depending upon your research question and the objectives, we have to collect the data. Okay, methods of data, and also we have to analyze it. Okay, how we can collect it? There are so many ways of collecting the data, like quantitatively, otherwise qualitatively, otherwise by mixed methods, maybe by observation, questionnaires, okay, focus group discussions. Then the collected data can be analyzed it, okay, analyzed by manually, otherwise with the help of softwares like SPSS, SAS, R, okay, Python. These are the softwares will help you to analyze it. Okay, then after analysis, we have to come to conclusion. Then the results we have to do in discussion. Then afterwards, the last is the dissemination of the findings, because you cannot keep the research findings in your own self. It has to be disseminated. It has to be, others has to use your research findings. So this is known as a research process. But in this one, okay, the main what you say, the work is finding out the literature review. Okay, what is this literature review? A literature review deals with published information in a particular subject area. It addresses the need for a critique of and the potential reconceptualization of and the expanding and more diversified knowledge base of topic. Okay. It also addresses new or emerging topics that would benefit from a holistic conceptualization and synthesis of the literature. So when you will see then what it means, okay, literature review or review of literature, okay. The literature is already there, okay, in any form that we will connect it to our problem statement and the objectives and overall the design and for all the things, okay, we need it. So for an identifying the topic also, think that now the COVID is there. COVID is a very, very broad area, but you have to identify that what you want to do in this one, okay. So for this one, you have to have some of the solid studies which propels, which validates that the problem is an ideal to do or to take on the project. Next, generate the related questions. Then we have to find out what is the problem exactly, because the review of literature will helps you to know the research gaps, okay. What was there, what is there, then what I can fill it, how I can fill it, okay. So you can develop the solutions. So all this will consider as the literature review. Why we need, okay, to clarify conceptual issues and empirical context in your project, okay, whenever you're doing it, okay. Then there's no previous published research work, because some of the times the topics are very, very newer and very less literature is there. That will helps you to know that one in depth about a research gap, because very, very few studies are published. Use of literature to learn about research design and project, okay. It helps you to build your project, contribute to the literature. Then it helps you to find out the readers also, because you are doing an anonymous reviews. A literature review is not a straightforward summary. Okay, think that you are collecting the data or you are reviewing the from different sources on your topic, and just you cannot read or you cannot copy it and you cannot paste it. Okay, of course, it is an analysis. There are the three stages of reviews are there. An early review is needed to establish the context and rationale for your study and to confirm your choice of research focus on a question, okay, what you are doing it. Means if it is in a longer, okay, if you want already are there, okay, that will helps you to build your knowledge on your topic. Then for the analysis part also, or for the practice, for the recommendation, for the implications, you need a review. So how we can go for a review of literature, okay? One of the very common way to approach in literature is from broad to specific. Think that on broad issues, okay? You think in very openly and very comprehensively, having a very broad issues. Like in COVID is a very, very broad issue, okay? Then studies which overlap with your research, okay, which you want to do it. There are studies that directly related to your investigation. Think that on in COVID, one of the questions are there, then how they have felt, or what's the stress or in coping they felt it, or they suffered it. So this is a broad issue is in COVID. Then you will compiling, then you will come to know that one what you want to do. You want to search on because the problem statement or the problem is on how they will cope it, okay, how much is the stress and coping, which strategy they will use it. So from broad to very specific. So when we are going for a review of literature, okay, it has to answer what is the key sources, okay, from where I will get, okay, what's the debate or how much is there, okay, what they have done, how they have done, where they have done, then what's the main point of in doing it, then how they define the variables or the very peculiar terms in the problem statement, then how they develop the ideas, how they combined it, okay, then how they structured it, then how they addressed the problem statement. All these things must be kept in mind while you writing or while you doing the review of literature. So it must have in the methodology, it has to have a firm foundation of a research topic, then it has to give the proposed contribution to the overall knowledge of the research. So I told you that it is a process. It is having input, process, and output. Okay, input is from where you'll get it, but you have to know the process, literature, comprehending it, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, evaluating. Because you cannot whatever you read, you cannot put in your thesis, or you cannot put in your article. Okay, so this is the 3 stages of writing or reviewing the process. So if you see an overall review of literature must have a descriptive list of papers or summaries of each research what they have done, okay, from where you got, then organized around the sources with each described in detail, argument for and against, and it must have an strength and weaknesses. Okay, how you can go for it? Okay, you just search the reviews on your specific theme or a specific problem, then the related ones, what type of literature you need, whether it is an quantitative literature, qualitative literature, or a mixed method of an reviews you need, what type of methodology, where I will get, then how I can go for it, which publications, journals, books, government documents, or on popular media, okay, like in LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, okay, what time period I am interested in, okay, what geographical area, what materials. So all the things we have to keep it in mind. This is the structural way of doing a review of literature. Okay, it must be very clear, it must be systematic, it must be logic and coherent. Okay, these are all the things we have to consider while doing it. Then what if an literature review you want to do it? Okay, maybe it is an ordered as an chronological, means from historical, from early period to till today, or you can go back also. Okay, the classical studies, okay, means the major findings or major writings on that study on your topic related, what is in benchmarked articles or in benchmarked findings or in benchmarked studies can be noted. Then topical or thematic organization. Research is divided into sections representing the categories or conceptual project of your topic. Means the discussion is also organized as an subjects or an categorization. Means I told you that it is organized in an inverted pyramid organization. Means from broad to very, very specific. This is the model of an literature. Okay, how we can go for it? First, select and define the topic on what you want to doing or in what you want to collect it. Then develop the specific objectives, develop argumentation, search the literature. You can search it in different way. What we say, newspapers, books, journals. Okay, then any softwares also you can use it way online or in offline or in both. Like you can use the Mendeley, Jotiro, EndNote. Okay, so many what you say softwares are available now. Okay, next, survey the literature, critiquing the literature. Okay, very, very important, whether we need. Okay, this also depends upon the what of a need is there, or what of a evidence is there. Okay, best evidence the reviews you have to collect it. Next, write the review. Okay, this is, so it is a circular process, it goes on in a circular way. So this is known as a review model. So when you are writing or reviewing the process, you have to formulate the problem, you have to search on the which is selected problem, then you have to evaluate the data, you have to analyze, then you have to create the bibliography. Very, very important, because you have to know that from where you got it. So if you see an overall review, okay, it is having an searching, sorting, selecting, acquiring, then you have to read it, you have to analyze, you have to interpret, then you have to write the review. So when you are going for it, okay, you have to frame the problem first. Okay, so select the problem which you are interested in. Very, very important, which is overall, if it instigates you to do it. Okay, choose a topic with a feasible focus. Always think that on the resources, whether you are getting or not. Okay, then whether it isn't feasible to do. Consider the 3 M's: men, money, materials, and ethical uses. Okay, get help, get it early and often. Okay, from others. Next, the literature review must have and include the format. Okay, don't restrict yourself to only general articles. You have to do the review from different ways. Okay, like in books, e-books, magazines, newspapers, conference, okay, websites, blogs. Then the softwares. Okay, look for library subjects. Okay, as the guides. So how we can search it? Okay, perform a preliminary search on the literature. Okay, miss merely what you say, and with a thing that you are doing in a COVID, search it very widely. Okay, as a preliminary, what it means, how it is. Okay, when it started. Okay, this is the preliminary search. Okay, you can search it with an articles. Okay, newspapers. Then always to note the. Then you can go for recent journals, like especially you go for an very high impact factor journals. Okay, like in WAS. Okay, Web of Science. This IEEE. Then there are so many specific journals are there within in medical science, nursing, physiotherapy, or related to like in homeopathy. Okay, you have to search in different way. Go for an H index, I index, and high impact factor ones. Okay, those who are having ISSN number with DOI. Okay. For that one, Elsewhere's. Okay, this is the best way to search it. We will see in further PPTs, which are all the journals, which is helps you to know about an literature. Develop a list of subject headings that relate to the themes of interest. When you are going for it, what you want to collect it. Okay, the subheadings you have to see, and you have to search the literature. Search across multiple databases like in PubMed, okay, Medline. There are so many are there, like in Scopus, okay, Oxford Press. Then different universities. Okay, global universities are having their own search engines. You can search it. Read the literature throughout the process. Then you start to write. So if you see this one. How you can go for review writing. Okay, choose only a relevant one, up to date one. Always keep it in mind. Okay, don't go for a very back journals or an back information. You have to write within 2 or 3 years of an reviews. It must be creative. It must make the authors very selective depending upon your problems and hypothesis, overall research design. Then do not forget about a logical arrangement. Always you have to have it, keep it in, and it must have a sequence from one para to another para, from first objective to next objectives. Okay, then keep it in mind that in formatting, always follow it. Okay, usually we will follow IMRAD format. Then it must have in sequence and logic in. Keep it in mind. Think ahead. Okay, whenever you're writing it, how it has to come out. Okay, so have a mind mapping or in conceptualize it. Then you on the basis of questions and objectives. Whenever you're doing it, because you are reading a lot and a very long time, when you're doing, you may lose the reviews or from where you taken. So always refer and write it. Okay, you can use the softwares like in Mendeley, EndNote, Jotiro, which helps you to make the list. Okay, otherwise also online so many other journal other softwares are also available for resonant to collect and refer the references to write it. Keep a record of the literature. Then very end you can retrieve it back. Okay, because it acts as in your own library. So when you're going for a literature review, okay, you have to evaluate it whether it is widely used or not. Okay, whether it suits to my problem or not, whether it finds the gap. Okay, gap in many areas like in population, settings, methods, methodology, in findings, in approaches. Okay, in related to conclusions and recommendations also, because the gap will be there. So we have to see that on how this gap will helps you to make my review as a credible one. Trying to read every source relevant to your research problem. Read. Okay, everything you have to read on the selected topic and related topic. Don't think that only on COVID. You have to read a lot on and related to things in depth. It is usually impossible to do the latter, but you have to have the significant knowledge about the problem. Then you have to select the literature. Okay, before going for the problem, you have to have an credible literature. Hundreds of sources will be relevant. However, you can define the problem, then you can search the material. When you're going to read, because of so many things you are referring it, like in newspapers, journals, books. Okay, how we have to read the material. Okay, read the easier one. Okay, which you can skim it. Okay, but when you will see, then if it is very broad, just to go for 10 to 15 papers, then you can start to read by day. Then you just to see that on how one causes the effect on an other one. This is the overall way of doing the journal articles to read, okay, just to stay calm. This happens all the time, okay. Get a pen and paper just to go through it, okay. First things first, what you want to do when you will see that in journal, okay, any journal, first you will go read the title and an abstract, okay. Just you will get a knowledge about and what they have written, how they have written it, okay. Then introduction, then findings, then conclusion, then the tips, okay. Then how you can spare it, then you can note it with the softwares, then you can read it later also. So focus, okay, narrow your focus, okay, when you want to write it or read it, okay. You start with the new one, then go for an older things, okay. Then it gives it an interest. Read the material very closer, okay. Read the abstract, because abstract contains the whole aspect of the work. Decide whether to read the article in detail, okay. Read the introduction, read method with a very, very close and critical eye. Always analyze it, okay. Who are the participants, how they measured it, okay, which tools they have used, then how they have carried out their study. Next, evaluate the results, what they got it, okay, whether it is logically related to the objectives or not, okay. Can you detect any bias on the part of the researcher, okay. How this bias has contributed to the differences. Take discussion within a grain of salt, okay. Edges are smoothed out. Pay attention to the limitations, because every study is having a limitations. You consider that one also. Next, analyze the literature. Take notes as you read through each paper that will be included in the review, because you may forget it. How your purpose, okay, synopsis, design, brief reviews, okay. Then you can organize the themes according to the Word document, okay. Then you can integrate the findings. This is the way to do the review of literature, okay. When you go through it, why miss source one, think that one it is an article one from a journal you have taken. What is the purpose of reading? What method they used? How many samples were there? What they found out? Similarities, okay, with others. And what is the uniqueness of this paper? Means maybe the sampling or the samples is very large, and they have generalized it. They went for generalization of the findings. This is the peculiarity of this article or a journal which you referred it. Next, what all things you need it, okay. Whenever you'll go for an to write and review, okay, you need whether it's a primary or a secondary, okay, or it is an evaluative also. All the things we need: the title, author, year, journal from here you taken, okay. What is the purpose of doing study, main definitions, credibility, quality, okay. Then criteria, content, summary, conclusions, okay, what they found it and what was the critic of that one, okay. Also we have to know, we have to mention it. So when you're going for to review, you have to know that what is the already known area, what are the characteristics of the key concepts, what's the relationship between key concepts to other factors, okay, because it's related to one to another, like in a problem statement to objectives, next methods, methodology, then analysis. All things are interconnected. So we have to know that one which theories can be applied, what's the consistency, what views need to be tested, what is lacking, okay. It helps you to know the research gap, what contribution can prevent the study to expect more, okay. What research designs or methods seem unsatisfactory. Then next is the conducting of the literature review. How we have to go, okay. Go for an introduction, okay. Explain the topic in which is important. Give the reader where you are going to write your paper, okay. Group research studies, okay. You can include also literature according to the notes, okay. Like an organizers, you can have the conclusions, okay, specific purpose, objectives with the chronological way. Next, summarize individual studies or articles, okay, because you have to know that we can combine it, okay, on the basis of significance, okay, on the basis of other studies, how they have done it, main findings, okay, then methodological issues, major conclusions, then agreement and disagreement. This is all the way of writing the reviews. So you can organize the review, okay. First, as an introduction to the literature review. In an introduction, which are all the reviews are helpful on the content, structure, and boundaries, okay. This is the one part of the writing the reviews. Next one is the section 1. because you are dividing it. If the literature isn't very wide, on the time you have to divide in section 1, which are all the reviews I can put it, okay, because the theme is section 1 is an different, or an objective is different. In section 2, okay, most important, then additional sections if are there, section 2, section 3, then you can conclude it, okay. So it must have an effective review when you are writing it. You have to know that and where you have to place it, how it describes the relationship. Then you can interpret and shed light on the gaps. Very, very important. It has to highlight the gap. It resolves conflicts amongst seemingly contradictory views and the prior scholarship to prevent duplication of an effort, okay, unnecessary. Points the way forward for further research, okay. It helps you to know how you can go through it, then how you can contribute. So your reviews acts as a guide. It must be accurate, it must be complete in nature. So you can go for an some of the things, reviews from the thesis, okay. So you can use the Mendeley, okay. When you use the Mendeley, you can use this one on an your laptop or on your mobile phone, as in desktop, otherwise as an software also, okay, as an app also. So this is the, when you will download it, you can make your own password, okay, login, then you can use Mendeley, okay, as a desktop, otherwise an online also, otherwise as a mobile application. On the time you can use this one to see the thesis, okay. Other thesis you can review it, you can use as your own library. Mentally you can use the references also, and you can combine it and you can use. Next is the, if you are an in vivo, okay, vivo, of course in vivo is the best for collecting the data or in collecting the reviews, okay, then analyzing the data also, especially in qualitative studies. Next is the research gate, okay, for reviewing the literatures from in different journals, books, online books, okay. Then you can connect to others also, research gate, you will get the information. Next, Schemago journals, okay, of course it is from an elsewhere, you know. Then it's having a very wide journals, more than 5,000 publishers. It publishes twice a day. You can go to this website, www.schemagojr.com, okay. You will get related to journals, then you can search the journals on, depending upon your DOI, author, then the topic of the title of which you want, okay, then impact factor, you can search it. You can go for ResearchGate, okay, then ORCID, okay. ORCID is also one way of collecting researchers, scholars, okay. ORCID.org, okay. It connects it, you can download the thesis also. It not only helps for doing a review of literature, you can use this one for grants, repositories, okay, for information systems. You can submit it. You can identify the related like-minded people, and is as a membership. Then you can download it. Then you can use for as a collecting information or in reviews. If you see an Indian scenario also, okay, we here also we are having an inflammate, okay. E-consortium is there, UGC info, net DLC, NList, okay, EPG Pathshala, then INCAT Union Database, Open Access Initiatives, OJAS, Infoport, okay, Shodhaganga, then Shodhagangotri, research project, Soul, Vidwan database, okay. This all helps you to know the journals and your thesis, okay. You can download it. You are having a digital library consortium, you can go to this UGC Infonet, then you can search, okay. These are all the websites which helps you to know or to get the reviews. NList, National Library and Information Services infrastructure for scholarly content, okay. You can log in it, then you can assess the thesis. Then INCAT Union Database, this is also an online Indian universities, okay. You can get the books, theses and serials depending upon your topic. Then Inflammate, okay, Inflammate is also useful to get the resources. Next is the Open Journal Access System, OJAS. Okay, OJAS isn't connected with different universities. Then here also you can access the journals, free journals. Okay, Shodhaganga is the best way of doing searching the literature. Shodha Gangotri also is an government based one by UGC. It will help you Shodha Ganga and Shodha Gangotri. Okay, also helps you to know the thesis. You can download the articles and reviews. You can write it. Okay, research project database. Okay, is also one of the good way to search it. Search the topic, author, or an DOI, impact factor. If you are a law student, okay, or a law scholar, on that time you can go through this series like an Alpha online catalog, Net Library, WorldCat, Index Master. Okay, these are the databases will help you to know the related to the law. LexisNexis Academic. Okay, index to legal periodicals, ILP retrospective, legal track, Heen online, just or then Project Muse, e-journals page. Okay, all will helps you to know the related to law. Okay, you can go for an e-books, you can go to journals, you can search the like-minded people, then you can note it. Okay, next one is the Cambridge University. Okay, Cambridge University online books is also available, and then journals are available. You can do the review. Emerald is also a very good source of an gesture. Yeah, is the best way of searching the reviews on your topic. Next, Oxford journals. Spinger, very widely used and also very genuine way of doing the review of literature. This is by Scopus. Okay, then Hini online law databases, open access databases, directory of an open access journals, DOAG. Next, NISAR online repository, periodicals, e-thesis and dissertation by NDLTD. Okay, .org. This will give you different thesis and dissertation by different universities. Okay, think that one now you have done. Okay, the main way of doing is the research or an PhD or an any postgraduate is the you have to write the thesis. When you are a researcher, okay, when you are doing it in higher studies in research, okay, it is not assessed that only you want to write an thesis, but it is for expertise acquisition. Okay, you have to get a very higher knowledge. Okay, so knowledge acquisition, knowledge production, and you have to develop the skills, higher skills, and you have to contribute to the society and the fraternity of your profession. So you have to share the knowledge. When you share the knowledge, you will gain a more. Okay, so popularization, you can publish it in articles, you can meet the academic communication through various ways. Communication, mentoring, you are mentoring the other students, other scholars for their improvement. Next, collaborating with others. Okay, collaborating is a national, international, globally. Okay, and having a mentorship. Okay, this are the ways or the concept of going for an higher research. When you are going for to write a thesis, okay, thesis, when you are writing a thesis, we need a review of literature. Okay, but usually when you go for a dissertation to write it, okay, it must have a title page, introduction, a brief introduction of the research on this. You are doing it maybe within 150 to 200 words, statement of the problem. Okay, it must have an very critically you have to note down research problem needs to be explained in a detailed manner, at least 2 to 3 pages, but you have to define it. Okay, aims and objectives depending upon your problem statement. Okay, you have to have the objectives, then you have to justify it, then you have to write the background, research background, why you are doing it. Okay, how much is insignificant, then scope and limitations, where all it is applicable, then literature, methodology, very important, how we are going, how we are doing it. Okay, methods, how you are collecting the data, then how you are doing it up to an analysis, it includes as research methodology. Ethical aspects, one of the aim of doing in research is on ethics. Okay, you have to follow the ethical principles of research, then how you achieved it. Next, you have to schedule it. Okay, from you have to have the plan from starting from identifying the problem to dissemination of the findings. So usually when you see that in generally PhD thesis, okay, it has to have the thesis in a PDF, maybe in a paper format, okay, A4 size you to write. You have to see that on the font size, okay, line spacing, then fonts, tables, pictures, how many they want to add it, you have to keep it in mind. Then pagination, okay, how the pages are numbered, okay, whether it is on only one page or in a back and forth. Then what type of templates, okay, usually each university is having their own templates. You just go through it, you stick on to it, okay, then you can prepare the thesis. Language correction, thesis that have been submitted for language correction, always you have to have it, okay. When you're writing in thesis, write in your own words, okay. Think that on some of the codes or in some of the things you have to write as it is, then you go for an paraphrasing it. There are so many paraphrasing and language validation softwares are there, like in Quillbot, okay, will help you to correct the language. Next, thesis abstract, insert the thesis, okay, summary within 250 to 300 words within title page, okay, in the table of contents, okay. Thesis abstract, you have to write the abstract. This abstract can be written at last, because you know the how you have gone through it or how you have done it, then it is then very easy. When you're writing any thesis, write which is very easy first, okay. Next, table of the contents, okay, use capital letters highlighting or identifying to differentiate between main and sub chapters. Page numbering, then tables, figures, always follow the principles of an preparation of any tables and figures, okay. Then with this one, okay, I want to conclude that review of literature is a step-by-step approach. Writing a review of literature is a skill that needs to be learned. By conducting them, researchers can be involved in increasing the knowledge through evidence-based practice. So with this one, I end today's session. Thank you one and all. Thank you.